Above all And that's why, kids, there was no dinosaurs on Noah's Ark. Do you guys have any questions?
Blah 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 blah. Blah 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 blah. Blah 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 blah. Blah 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 blah. Sorry guys.
And that's why, kids, after being dead for 3 days, Lazarus did not smell bad. Any questions? That's why the company Apple is the Antichrist. Hey Reagan, what did I just teach about? Reagan, hello? Reagan Agee, I asked you a question. Listen.
Can you just be quiet already?
Alright kids, your homework this week is to go home and do a 20-page summary of the book of Revelation.
1 week later.
There you go.
Thank you.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Here.
Thank you.
Some family stuff came up and I couldn't do it.
Mm-hmm. How you guys doing today? Good. Not nervous at all. I actually had my kids do a pit check for me before I came in. You lost the tape. I did. All right. R-E-S-P-E-C-T. Find out what it means to me. So the song says, but as Christians, we need to find out what it means to God. The dictionary definition of respect is a feeling of deep admiration for somebody or something elicited by their abilities, qualities, or achievements. Respect is commonly talked about, but are we fully showing our respectful qualities and giving out as much as we should? The Bible says in 1 Peter 2:17, show proper respect to everyone, love the family of believers, fear God, and honor the emperor. In the Bible, the word respect is sometimes translated as the word honor, and it means to value someone or something. Since we are commanded to respect or honor everyone, let's take this truth today. Let's take a look at this truth today. My proposition for you is, if we expect to further God's kingdom, we must first learn to respect everyone. This morning, we're going to look at respect from two different angles. First, youth, respect your elders, such as your parents. First of all, because God commands you. In Exodus 20:12, honor your father and your mother, that your days may be prolonged in the land which the Lord your God gives you. First, let's talk about the word honor. In this verse, it means the value. Let's go even deeper than that. Value means to regard that something is held to deserve the importance, worth, or usefulness of something. We are to value our parents and everything they do for us. Raise your hand. Who here has ever heard the phrase, "because I said so"? Yeah, there you go. The phrase used to really annoy me, and it still does today sometimes, I'm going to be honest. It's always over little things like, clean your room. Why? Because I said so. Or, do your homework. Why? Because I said so. Or, get down from there. Why? Because I said so. How dare I or you ask them why? They don't need to justify why they are asking you to do something. They are your parents. Just do it. Mike, you got something right. Just do it. All right? Most parents aren't looking to make your life miserable. They are doing that because a lot of the times they know better than you. Clean your room because it teaches you how to stay tidy and to take care of yourself. Do your homework because they care about your future and your career. Get down from there because they don't want you to die. God doesn't say honor thy father and thy mother only when they're nice or when they don't yell at you. It says honor them, flat out. They aren't here to be your friends, first of all, although they have friendly qualities and have fun and they can goof off, but they are here to raise and prepare you for the future. Teens, it is an easy witness opportunity to follow you, to your fellow friends when you behave and respect your parents' authority. B, the second part, is because they work so hard for you more than you can even imagine. I don't know if you guys have ever just sat down and really took the time to think about how hard your parents do work for you. And I talked about my kids about this topic for the past 4 weeks. And we sat down and just named things that our parents do for us on a daily basis. Not all parents work hard, but a lot of them do. They work hard every day for work and to cleaning the house and to paying bills. We may complain sometimes that we don't get that thing we wanted, or may complain when we don't get an allowance or get to go eat out that one day. But if you have clothes and a meal and you are receiving more than a large sum of children in the world. Raising a child in a single middle-income family has been raised to $233,610 per child. There's some families in here who have, I don't know how many children, like 4 plus, 5 plus. That's over $1 million. That's not even including luxuries and all the fancy technologies we have, like phones and game consoles and computers and laptops and tablets, and the fancy shoes you wanted, and the fancy clothes you wanted, and the brand name this, and the computer, the refrigerator with Wi-Fi built into it, all this stuff that is not plugged into that $233,000. That's just the baseline survival of food, housing, and schooling. Just know, kids, that your parents love you, and they work really hard for you. My parents worked 4 jobs in total at one point to work hard for me and my brothers. It's really a beautiful thing to think how much effort and love they put into raising us. I have a list of 7 things that I just jotted down that to me is a good way to honor and respect your parents. Number 1, value your parents' world. No matter how old they are living in a world that is highly relevant and valuable. 2, respect your parents' age. Don't mock their limitations and abilities. Love them in it. 3, model your parents' good godly attributes. Know the many things that they said and did that simply bless your life. So go and do likewise. It honors them and the Lord. Besides, if it blessed you, just think how much it'll bless their grandchildren. 4, protect your parents' individual dignity. The older they become, the more they will cherish your hedge of protection. Remember, they protected you when you were just starting out. 5, Fulfill your parents' essential joy. Make it your business to find out what gives them joy. Sometimes it's as simple as a regular phone call. 6, provide for your parents' basic needs. Make certain that you are not feasting at the king's table while your precious parents are living on a can of baked beans. And by the way, make sure they are eating right. 7, just do it. Honor your God-given responsibility. Just do it. God said it. You'll be so glad you did. 2nd, young people should respect those in authority. Point A is going to be worldly authority, police, fire and rescue, teachers, and etc. In the book of Romans, it talks about us honoring the emperor, because if we don't honor the emperor, things are going to be difficult for us. God calls Christians to respect authority out of respect for God. He asks us to submit to Caesar, because if we don't, it will put ourselves in a world of hurt. Jesus was brought in front of Pilate, who, although found no fault in Christ, still crucified him, still found him guilty. Did Jesus have to submit to the authority of Pilate? No, but he did. Thousands of Christians died under the Emperor Nero, but they remained obedient to the political authorities, but did not submit to godless leadership. We are to follow Jesus' example in our lives, and even Jesus showed a submissiveness to the government. We should respect our teachers because they didn't choose the highest paying jobs in the world for what they do. Now, some teachers just give out packets, and some teachers just show videos and over and over and over again, but some truly are passionate and amazing at what they do. We should make it a joy for them to teach. It's already hard enough to teach some kids, so why should you add to that? Give them a break and make their child a joy. Be a spiritual authority. Preachers, deacons, elders, whoever falls under that. It's going to be Hebrews 13:17. If you guys can turn there, I'll give you a few seconds to turn there. I remember I read too quickly the last one. Didn't give you guys time. So Hebrews 13:17. Have confidence in your leaders and submit to their authority, because they keep watch over you as those who give an account. Do this so that their work will be a joy, not a burden, for that would be no benefit to you. Respecting your preachers, deacons, elders are extremely important, for it's through them you can grow closer to Christ. Small group leaders, youth leaders, and preachers are some of the most important godly information, the most important tools for godly information. And if you listen to them and use them correctly, you can personally grow closer to Christ. It's important to respect our spiritual teachers because they teach you the most important things to live by. They teach you how to use the Bible and to apply it to our lives, in which then you can go and do the same. I promise you, I would not be here preaching a sermon if it wasn't for my preacher, my dad, and my small group leader. I have learned more and grown more in Christ than any time during a small group outside of Sunday service. The intensity and how much you can deep dive into the Bible during those times is, I'm telling you guys, if you haven't been to a small group or haven't started a small group yourself, I highly recommend doing it because you get a lot of spiritual benefits out of that. I promise you, I wouldn't be as good with God without those men leading me in spiritual and showing me God's word and the power it has. They deserve all my respect because without them, who knows where I would be. Deacons and elders are church-appointed leaders who help the congregation because the preacher can't do everything. They're able to be assigned to a specific group of people and help them in any way they can. They deserve our respect because they put that amount of time into helping us. Next, young people should respect God. I think if there's anyone here or anybody in life who deserves our respect, it's God. There is one who is worthy of all our respect we can possibly give, without reservation. And he delights to tell us how we can respect him. The real question before us, as we begin this new year, is how will we respect God? God desires and demands our worship, respect, and obedience. Will we honor God above all else next year? If we do that effectively, I promise you we'll have a good year. In fact, if we appropriately respect God, we ourselves will receive respect, and we will be able to respect others. In fact, we have seen how we can respect others and how we can honor God first of all. God respects us enough to send his only Son to die a most brutal death on the cross. He was humiliated and spit on and brutally killed in front of a raging mob because he respected enough to save us from death. He was humiliated. He did this because he loved us. God respected us enough to create us in the first place. We betray and disrespect God on the daily when we choose to sin, yet he still sent his Son. He knew we would let him down daily. He knew that all along, yet here we are, washed clean in the eyes of the Lord. If that doesn't show that he values and cares and respects for us, I don't know what you're not seeing. The biggest question that is needed to be asked is, how do we respect God? A question commonly asked but not commonly answered. However, if no one ever speaks about respect for God and never makes any application, respect seems to take a back seat. Individuals begin to believe that nothing they do is disrespectful. Slowly, the atmosphere in the congregation changes. The fact that we assemble in the presence of an all-powerful, holy, majestic God is almost forgotten. Personal comforts and extreme casualness become more important than respect for God. This should not be. God should be given everything we have. He should be given our time, our love, our praise and worship, and our will to serve. We respect God by following his will, by respecting our parents, by respecting authority, and by respecting him and his Son. Youth must respect their elders, such as their parents, others in authority over them, and above all, God. But as we saw, all Christians are to respect everyone. So next we will explore, elders, respect your youth. That seems strange, because we usually don't talk about it that way. But let's consider why God has asked us to respect one another, and even more so, to love our brothers and sisters. The first reason why is because of a changing culture. Kids experience a very different culture than past generations. They're experiencing stuff that I didn't experience when I was growing up in the 90s and the early 2000s. I'm telling you, I don't understand half the things that go on, and half the things in the way the world is throwing itself in turmoil. I feel like it wasn't that way, or at least as bad when I was younger. Maybe I was just naive when I was 5. But teens get bombarded with sex, drugs, partying, and is glorified in almost every aspect of worldly culture. Decades ago, you didn't see that. You didn't see people trying to make acceptance, maybe in the 80s, but before that, the 80s were a little crazy. But not to this extent, in my opinion. It's to be normalized now. People are making excuses for all these sins and saying, oh, it's just having fun. It's them expressing themselves. It's them being young. I've heard many people say, oh, you'll grow out of it, let him be a kid, or let them be a kid, but they're 25 years old. When they're going to not be a kid. Godlessness and hypersexuality is among the biggest difference from past generations, even in the 90s and early 2000s. From billboards, adult superstores, Hollywood movies, and shows, and the availability of sexually explicit content using a device that you can carry in your pocket. The culture is slowly growing to accept these things as normal, or even in a sign of empowerment. Not only have I experienced a moderate depression, I know many people who have or are currently experiencing it in their teens. Social media is one of the biggest things that lead to this, in my opinion. And some of the older, to me, and some of the older generations, it's used to stay in contact and post a few photos or comments, or maybe even a business that you can run on it. But many people in their teens and 20s, sometimes older, use it to glorify themselves or to boost confidence with likes. But when the likes aren't high enough, or the followers aren't stacking up, they think it's a reflection of themselves or their lives. Social media in of itself is not wrong, but the harm that it can be done with it is extremely hard to undo. Broken families are everywhere, from families with worldly values even families with supposed Christian values. Teens and children, again, a lot of the time blame themselves for the divorce, and kids need both the father's hard love and the mother's nurturing attitude. May not be the case for everyone, but having two parents is extremely important for development. So, what do we do about this? Instead of looking down on teens for a culture that they didn't create, encourage them. In Galatians 6:2, if you guys like, we got 3 verses coming up. Galatians 6:2 says, "Carry each other's burdens, and in this way you will fulfill the law of Christ." That says something right there. Doesn't say much, but it says a lot at the same time. Philippians 2:4. We're switching around on you guys. So we Philippians 2:4 and then Matthew 5:16. I'll give you guys a couple seconds for that. So Philippians 2:4. "Do not merely look out for your own personal interest, but also for the interest of others." And then Matthew 5:16 says, "Let your light shine before men in such a way that they may see your good works and glorify your Father who is in heaven." These verses to me have a flow to them. So it says, carry each other's burdens. So be there for your fellow brothers and sisters in Christ. No matter what their age are, be there for them and help them carry their burdens. It says, do not merely look out for your own personal interest, but also for the interest of others. Don't help others because you think it's going to glorify you, or you think it's going to give you brownie points or make you seem like a godly person and put yourself on a pedestal. Help them because you want to help them. It says, let your light shine before men in such ways that they may see your good works and glorify your Father who is in heaven. So model yourself after God so that then they can model themselves after you. An easy way to respect kids is to encourage them to make the right choices in life. Encouragement is so powerful. Nothing has gotten me through anything better than encouragement. When I'm down, I have two great parents and brothers who are willing to give me godly encouragement. Sometimes the truth is not fun to hear, but it can really be encouraging to get a reality check. Encouragement is seen everywhere, from Joshua encouraging the Israelites to enter the promised land, from God encouraging his people in the wilderness. Even though again and again they did wrong to him and disrespected him, he was still with them. And the ultimate encourager, Barnabas. Encouragement is shown to be given to people at their lows to them, to show them a way out, or just show someone that someone is here for them. Encouragement needs to be given to youth because without encouragement, how do we expect them to avoid being sucked into this godless culture? Or how do we expect to form a relationship with any of them without encouragement? I promise you, if they don't find or build a relationship with you guys, they will find somebody that will build a relationship with some worldly figure. I think the biggest reason for rebelling, especially youth rebelling, is the feeling of disrespect or a lack of encouragement that they receive from people that they're supposed to look up to. Whether they are teachers, friends, or anyone really, if an authority doesn't focus on respect and building somewhat of a relationship with the person they are over, it's going to be hard to expect a positive change. I repeat, I'm not saying coddle or baby, but to simply show your respect in a positive way by not looking down on them. Life is not all sunshine and rainbows, something that the older generation knows well. So respect and encourage the younger generation. Show them that there is a right way to live. We need to respect and value our youth because they need our help to thrive in this very difficult world we live in. Next, we need to respect our youth because God designed it to be mutual. Yes, sometimes it's hard to see eye to eye with the younger generation. Even I have a hard time sometimes, but we must respect them in the very least as valuable beings that Christ died for. It's truly hard to respect a disrespectful person. Common phrases such as, "You must earn my respect to get